Hello, my front-end friend. If you want to know how we can do something like this, where these like animations that come in as we're sliding down here and do this type of effect, all with one line of JavaScript, I guess, you're in the right place, because this is where we're going to see how this works. And it's all being made possible thanks to Adam's props for that. So the link for this is in the description, but you can see this is what JS knows, now CSS knows. And I talked last week about how it's a good idea to pass as much information to CSS as possible. There's some things that it's annoying to do that for, and Adam has solved the problem here. We have our FPS, our viewport size, our scroll velocity, the color of inputs live being updated. You can see the cursor position, all sorts of different things that are being passed through, and it's all incredibly easy to do and quite performant. So I'm just going to jump to the docs really fast to say, if we go to get started, all we need to do, you have your npm install props for that. And there's a few different things depending on how you want to set things up. So if you do want to use this, depends a little bit on your project, but it's incredibly easy to do. Let's dive in and see how easy this actually is to use. All right, so I've set up a nice page here, I think, and I want to wire this up to make it more interactive and more fun. So all I'm doing in my JavaScript is importing the props for that /auto, and then we can dive in and actually start using these. And to be able to do that, there's a few different things we have to do, or actually there's not a few, there's one thing really that we need to do, which is I'm going to come over into my HTML. I have this card here with a twist in. We're going to look at that in a minute, but I just have to come here for a data props for, and I have to list out the different things that I want to look for. In this case, what I want to be looking for is my pointer local. But yeah, what that's going to be doing then, let's actually go look in my dev tools. We can go on this card and, oh, I put prop for, sorry, that should have been props for on that. And I knew it wasn't working. So if I go take a look now, there we go. I can see the live local pointer X ratio and the Y ratio. And there's also a pointer inside that's on there. And what that's doing is no matter where I am, it's giving me live updates, and the live inside is whether or not I'm on top of it. So it's sort of like a hover detection that we can be using. Now, one thing you might be worried about right away is like, oh my goodness, this could be terrible for performance if it's always tracking all of that. But as soon as that element is off the page, you can see, like I've scrolled away, it's not tracking it anymore. So it's only tracking these, whatever props you're looking for, if the element is visible on the page, which is a good thing. Because if not, you're just wasting processing power. So yeah, there's a lot of performance things that Adam has baked into here, which is super awesome. So I'm getting my pointer local, and now I want to use it. So I have set up some gradients here on here that you might have noticed. I'm doing this. This is like a texture with an SVG. I have this gradient, which is the background, the glowy one. Then I have a solid color coming in here for the background color, because if I didn't have that, just really fast, it would be really blue. We get something like that looks really ugly. And then I have this radial gradient, which is set to my border box, which is giving me sort of the shine at the top. I've done a more in-depth video on how this works, so I'll link to that in the description if you're interested. And this code is also available. But you'll notice here, I have set up this X and Y values that aren't anything right now. It's just using these fallbacks instead. So what I could do is go and use the props for to get an X and a Y value. Now, the prop that we're getting from Adam's prop for that is this, the live local pointer X ratio, and we add the Y ratio as well that we're coming in. But any prop, I might have mentioned it, they're always unitless, and this is on purpose, so we can use them however you want to be using them. In this case, I want it as a percentage based on where I'm hovered on top. You can see I actually broke it now because it's passing those values in as the X and Y. And so what I'm going to do is a calc on them, and we want to do this on both. So we can say this is a calc, open that calc up. We're going to come over here, close it, and say this is times 100% to add the unit onto there. And now we can see it actually follows my mouse around. And that's just so incredibly easy. I don't have to wire up any JavaScript or anything. The props are just getting passed through, and it's working. You can see I did a few fancy things with clamps here just to make sure that when I move far enough off, it doesn't keep on following me away. But yeah, That works fantastic, and all my other ones aren't wired up yet. So I'm going to quickly go through and just add these on there, but we're going to be adding one more other thing at the same time, which is visibility. And we're going to see two different options here, but we're going to start with the visibility. And I just added it to all of my different cards, so we can see this is working on all of them, which is fantastic. But there is another custom property that's now being used on these. So if we go and take a look, or not custom property, I should be saying, we have this live visible of 1. And we also have a const has entered of 1. So with props for that, there's two different types of props we get. There's the live ones, which are constantly being updated, and there's the const, which aren't, right? So the const has entered. We might have to actually refresh the preview here. So let's refresh that. And we can grab this first card, and we can see that the const has entered is actually currently 1. But if we go and look in the next section and my sticky wrap, the const has entered is 0 right there. And if I start scrolling down, now that has switched over to 1. It has entered, so it's 1. The live visible is also 1. But if I keep scrolling, the live visible is switched back over to 0, whereas the const has entered has stayed as number 1. So the live visible is always updating live, whereas the const will only update the one time. It's more of a constant, as you'd expect. Now it does switch at one point because we're tracking if it's entered or not, but it just means we can do either a scroll driven animation, which we can do with CSS now. Browser support's getting better, but it's not perfect. So this could be a nice way to do this for the time being. But there's also scroll triggered animations, which we can't quite do yet in CSS. They're on their way, but we can use this for that type of thing. So how can we use it? Well, we can do a few different fun things. Let's go to these twist ins now that I have. I already have a class set up here for a twist in. And for these, that's just to give these a little bit of fun animation as we're going down the page. So the first thing we could do here is just an opacity of var live visible, which is the prop we're getting. So this one will be visible. Actually, let's do a transition of opacity as well. I'm going to make it really long just for demo purposes, but I wouldn't actually do 5 seconds. But now if I scroll down, you can see that one slowly starts fading in as we get there. And again, don't do 5 seconds, but we're triggering that to happen. Now, once they've left again, because I'm using live visible, that means it's also switching back to 0. So if I start scrolling back up, they're going to start fading back in this way. That's fine. I don't mind that too much, but this is where the const might actually be a better option because I sort of like it when things only fire once. For the time being, though, I think I'll leave it as this just because it makes it easier for while I'm demoing things. But if I was doing this for production, I'd probably use the const instead of the live value here. Now, really fast, one way that we could actually use this now is to come in with a transform on this to give us some perspective on these. All right, so it's sort of at this weird angle. They're all going to be like that. I think let's just drop this opacity transition for the time being so we actually see things. So this is already kind of fun, but it'd be nice if like they're sort of angled and then they turn in. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to switch these for a variable. We'll do that after, just because I don't want them all facing the same way. I want the other ones flipped the other way, but we can fix that after. But this is where we can get kind of interesting because our live visible or the const is either a 1 or a 0. I actually want this to become 0 once it's visible. So how can we do that? So I'm going to come here and say is visible, and we're going to say this is a calc of 1 minus my var of live visible. Visible. Cool. So this is, if it is visible, the number will actually be 0. It's kind of backwards in a way, I suppose. But what we're saying is 1 minus 0 would still be 1, and a 1 minus 1 would become 0, right? So maybe if you have a better name for this, please let me know in the comments. But what I'm going to do is put this in a calc of the 25 degrees times my var is visible. And what this is going to do is, there you go. You can see it's actually, we don't have it applied anymore. And we're going to say the same thing here. I guess I should have done both of these calcs at the same time. 25 degrees times var is visible. Maybe I should do active or something like that instead of visible on screen. I'm not sure. Anyway, so the idea is it's negative 25 times 1 if it's off the screen. No, sorry. Yeah, times 1, because it's 1 minus 0. So anyway, we get, if it is visible, it's going to undo its thing. And then on our transition, let's just take opacity off here. We can say this is 5 seconds. So now as let's see, transition. Oh, that one is visible, but the next one that comes in should be at an angle and it twists into place. And then the next one twists into place. And obviously the 5 seconds is way too long for these types of things, but we're triggering the animation based on when it's coming in. Again, I don't really want them reverse doing, but it's better for demos so we can see it always working. But I'd probably make that the const. Cool, so that's working. The last thing I'm going to do is just the value here. I'm going to do this as my var twist y negative 25. So we have a default value on there. And let's copy this, paste, that becomes an x, and that was a negative 8. And I guess this would be sort of our starting position, but it just means on the ones that I've done the negative order on, I can also come on these and say that the twist y is 25 degrees, my twist x is 8 degrees, so they're opposite from one another. Maybe that stays at negative. Let's see, when I get down to there, that one's coming in that way, and when I get to there, that one's coming in that way. I think that's exactly what I wanted. So they're opposite from what they were along the way there. And of course, then this could be something like, I don't know, 0.75 instead. So it's a little bit more snappy. And we get those coming in as we're scrolling down. And we still have all of these different effects that are working. I think this is fantastic. You can see how easy that was, not having to set up all of the observers, all these different things. Don't have to worry about the JavaScript. I just want to say a very big thank you to Adam for setting all of this up, enabling so much. And of course, there's so much more. Go check it out. The link for it is in the description. I also want to say a big thank you to my enabler of awesome, Johnny, as well as all my other patrons and channel members for their continued support. And of course, until next time, don't forget to make your corner of the internet just a little bit more awesome. And this is going to help you do it. So go forth and make some cool stuff.